The first thing to mention in a 7-mark essay is that you understand that internal growth means expansion from within the business, building on a business's existing strengths and capabilities and resources. I would focus this kind of question on maybe 2 groups of stakeholders: the owners, so the shareholders, if you will, because it's a PLC, so that's you showing that you understand that a PLC has shareholders who are the owners essentially, and that you have managers who manage the company on behalf of the shareholders. The managers and shareholders might view organic growth as less risky than mergers and takeovers, which are examples of external growth. See, that's you showing understanding that you know what internal and external growth is. That the company, the managers might be keen to reinvest their profits so that the growth, point number 2, can be financed through internal funds. So the shareholders may wish to reinvest their profits, the company's profits. The managers might enjoy the fact that internal growth is building on a business's existing strengths, so its brands for its products, its customers and its resources. And the shareholders may feel, and the managers, that this kind of growth allows the business to grow at a controlled and sensible rate. So we can make the decisions. Internal growth is about managers making the decisions to control the rate of growth. On the negative, the shareholders may feel that they would like a more rapid form of growth, quicker growth, as internal growth can be quite slow. And don't forget, all the shareholders want are dividends, that's payouts and returns and rewards for the value of their shares. If the company is already the market leader in our sector, it might be difficult to increase our market share. So that's another drawback for the owners, the managers and the shareholders of the company. And of course, internal growth is very much dependent on the state of the overall market and the country's economy. If businesses are having a bad time generally, for example, if there's a recession, internal growth may be slow and difficult, and the managers and the shareholders may be less willing to go for that kind of growth. That's how you analyse and get 7 marks. We started by saying we understood what internal growth is. Then we identified a couple of groups of stakeholders, managers and shareholders in this case, and then we looked at both sides of the argument and kept bringing it back to JBL PLC. The PLC bit's important because it tells you it's a public limited company which has shareholders. Anything else it tells you in the case study, you have to drag back and make reference to in your answer. Analyse and evaluate mean look at both sides of an argument, advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. Impact means the positive and the negative. And don't forget to identify your stakeholder groups. Don't identify them as internal and external, they're just broad categories. Your stakeholders are your employees, managers, customers, owners, the government, the local community, your suppliers. Those are your stakeholders. And when analysing, use phrases like, this would mean that, consequently, the management may be reluctant to. This could impact on shareholders by reducing, increasing, lowering. The fundamental problem with this is, one of the main reasons for this is, ... as a result, ... therefore, and what this means for customers is. So you've got to be creative in your language and you've got to be analytical and evaluative in these questions.